Watcher have apologized for their goodbye YouTube video. I spoke about this in my last video, but this is where Watcher, some of the former Buzzfeed members who started a channel together, had said that they were leaving YouTube in order to start their own streaming service, which would just be playing their YouTube videos, but now behind a paywall for $5.99 a month or for $60 a year. And I and a lot of people thought this was a really bad move, mostly because it was just a terrible business decision. You would not be able to keep up getting new people there. You wouldn't be able to get new eyes on your channel. People are sick and tired of streaming services, and a lot of people cannot afford to pay $5.99 a month, even if to them that doesn't seem like a lot of money. And a lot of their fans felt really abandoned and like this was just a slap in the face. If you want to see that video, it's in the description. You might have seen it already though. But now they've come out and they have apologized just a few days after the goodbye YouTube video and the backlash that they got.
Last Friday, we announced that we're leaving YouTube and launching our new streaming platform.
We messed up. A lot of you spoke out with extremely valid comments and concerns, and we want to take the time now to address those.
This apology comes after people were saying they were surprised how silent they were being about all of this, but during this time they lost, from what I can see, about 100,000 subscribers. They lost my entire subscriber count in a weekend, which will just show you how mad people were about this. Though they did actually post an update to Patreon, and then Shane's wife also commented on this in favor of the streaming platform. She said, "I get people don't like to pay for things that were once free, but paying people fairly and making a survivable living while making cool things is hard, even with ads. I think what the fellows are cooking up will be worth it, to be honest." So it wasn't a full silence, but I guess we're going to say that they broke their silence to make this video, and it's honestly quite positive. They admitted that they messed up, which is the first big thing that YouTubers seem to have a lot of trouble doing in general, so I'm quite happy that they managed to do that. And so they reevaluated the whole thing, and now what they're going to do is they're still going to keep the streaming platform, and if people want to subscribe to that, they can. They will get stuff ad-free and a month in advance. Then after a month, things will be up on YouTube for free with ads or without ads if you have YouTube Premium, which I think is great. That is absolutely fine. They can do that because they're not taking away the stuff that was on their channel already and putting it behind a paywall. They're still putting it on the channel, but just if you want to pay extra, you can get the added benefit of getting it early, which I honestly think is fine, and I think a lot of people here agree with me too. Honestly, 10 out of 10 apology video. Direct, concise, comprehensive, offering direct solutions, and a much more reasonable business model. You'd think they would have thought about these things before making such a drastic business decision, but can't undo what's been done, so this is probably the best outcome at the moment. Not sure if I need a year subscription, but I'll probably drop in a few months for early Ghost Files episodes. And yeah, the fact of the matter is that they didn't think of all of this in advance, and they even say in their video that they just didn't consider the viewers in a lot of things, in how they would feel about it and how it would affect them, of them not being able to watch the content even though they've supported them for so long, and including the pricing. By which I mean the fact that they said that everybody can afford $5.99, which is just not true. A lot of people can, but also a lot of people can't.
We also want to deeply apologize for our ignorance around the impact of the cost. We regret stating and implying that it's a price that anybody can afford, and we fully acknowledge that it is not. We didn't take the proper consideration for how this cost would affect you, and hope you know that we are taking this as a serious learning experience.
And I have to say, again, respect to them for not just doubling down on this. I was really worried that that's what they would do. In my last video, I said that the only thing they can do now is just apologize and revert this, and they have, and they're keeping their streaming service, and I think that that's absolutely fine. But I'm just so glad we don't have another situation where ego has taken over and the people who have messed up are not going, nope, not changing it, not going back on this, I'm gonna double down, I'm gonna make it worse. No, they actually admitted that they messed up. They admitted they shouldn't have said everybody can afford $5.99 and that is completely out of touch, and they admitted that they didn't think enough about the viewers. This is such a relief. I've watched you guys for 7 years now. I was devastated to lose such an important part of my life. This was such a respectful and humble way to walk everything back. You heard us and that was all we wanted. Thank you for all the years of entertainment and joy throughout some of the darkest years of our lives. I believe that's referring to the fact that they started their channel in 2020, and they actually reference this again in their apology video where they say that they started in 2020 and then since then they found it increasingly difficult to be relevant to advertisers, and that is why they feel like they can't make enough money to fund the level of production that they're doing. I still think the better option would have been to do what I said in the previous video, which is to dial back a little bit to focus on the shows that are working and to JavaScript. Sweetie, not necessary. I still think it would have made more sense to do what I said in my previous video about this, which is to focus on the shows that are doing well and refine them, pull back on things that aren't doing so well, and make sure they get to a place where they're more financially stable before going on and trying to do bigger and better things and upping the production value and hiring more people and things like that. I honestly think that would have made more sense, but this way, although I don't think it makes the most sense, they do, and that's fine, and it's not something that takes away the content from the people who have already been watching it and supporting it for years and puts it behind a paywall. They're not doing that this time, so it's fine. And I do wonder, of course, why they feel like they're not financially viable. I know they have a lot of employees and production costs money. People were pointing out in my comments that it seems weird that they announced that they're moving to a streaming service because they can't afford to stay on YouTube, all while announcing the new version of Worth It, which is where they go and travel and try really, really expensive food around the world. So that is a consideration, I won't lie, but this is still a version that's agreeable to everyone. And I do understand how if you started off in 2020 and with that kind of growth that was happening in 2020, I mean, my channel started to get views in 2020. That's when this became a job for me. And that was a very different time because everybody was at home, in case you weren't aware. I think you were aware. 2020, 2021, everybody was at home and watching YouTube because there was nothing else to do. So there were higher views on YouTube. There were higher advertising rates. There was more money going around. It's not there now. I think there's also issues going on with the whole creator economy. It's probably stuff you're not interested in me getting into right now because it's boring, but apparently companies aren't seeing the return on investment that they used to get. So it's affecting larger creators more from what I've heard, but I'm not a larger creator, so I cannot attest to that. I have no idea. So it does make sense that there's issues that they're having, right, money-wise, but I do think maybe it's a situation where the whole production value is being prioritized over scaling down and making it sustainable, which is what I said before. I won't keep repeating myself. And people in the comments of both my video and their videos, both of their videos, keep saying things like, we don't care about the production value. And yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, most of us, right, me included, started off watching Buzzfeed Unsolved. And that definitely was good, right? But it wasn't to the level of production that they have it now. And we would still watch that. If they want to make something that's bigger, that's on them. They're the creators here. They can do that. But it seems strange to prioritize that and then take something away because they can't afford to do that. Like I said though, I think this is a much more agreeable solution. I think they actually thought about it this time, and I'm really, really glad they didn't dig in their heels. It's so rare on YouTube, on this channel, that I get to talk about something where a creator isn't being a dick, where I can just say, yes, these people listened. They actually listened, and they've made changes based on the feedback that people gave them. So I'm really glad that I get to say that today, and I am looking forward to watching the rest of their content. Although there are obviously people who aren't too happy about this as well. Just be aware that we're not going to forget all of this. If you come out of this and immediately start up the Steven Eats $10,000 Burgers show, just be aware that this is going to be in the back of all of our minds, that you prioritize that over paying your employees. There are a couple of comments like that, but for the most part, the comments are overwhelmingly positive. People are just happy that they listened. And as for the patrons, because this was something that was getting brought up that I hadn't even considered, was the fact that the patrons were already paying, and now they were expected to pay another extra fee if they wanted to see the content that they had been trying to support in the first place. So now what they've said is that current Patreon members will get a free subscription to the streaming service, which I think is absolutely fair. I think it's the best thing that they could have done. So overall, a great apology. Obviously things are not perfect, but this is good and they listened, and I don't think what they're going to do now with just posting things a month later, I don't think that's a problem in any way, so I'm just glad. I saw this video immediately when it was posted, by the way. I watched it straight away because I wanted to know what was going on, and I really did want to talk about it immediately, but I wasn't sure that I should, but it was brought up in my patron chat, and they were saying that I should talk about this because it's nice to give a positive review and update to something for once. So here I am giving a positive update, and I know there's still some issues and I know things aren't perfect, but I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments, be it positive or negative or neutral, whatever. Let me know what you think about all of this. I think you can tell for the most part I'm pretty much happy with what they've said. I can see there are some issues still. They have said that they are listening to the viewers and they're sorry, whether that's just for optics or for business or for actually caring about the viewers, that is left to be decided. But I'm choosing to believe that they care about the viewers because it makes me feel better, and we all deserve a little bit of joy in life. Everything's so negative all the time. Why don't we just be positive about people for once and assume the best instead of assuming the worst? I don't know, it feels harmless in this situation to assume the best. So why not? Join me, will you? You don't have to. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. This is not a tactic people use anymore, but I was checking my analytics today and like 78% of my viewers aren't subscribed to me, and that feels like a lot. Like, that's a lot, right? So subscribe. I swear I'm nice. I really am. You can also turn on notifications, like, comment, share, follow me on social media. I'm VangelinaSkov everywhere. Check out the Patreon if you want, or the YouTube members. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.